Hi all, welcome to a new video and web application penetration testing tutorial. Today, we are going to have an overview of 3 of the most common cyber attacks: cross-site request forgery, command execution, and brute force attacks. So, let's start. Here is today's agenda we are going to cover today. I will inform you more about the first attack for today, cross-site request forgery or CSRF. We will learn how it works, and ways that cross-site request forgery can take place. Then, we will demonstrate an example of a CSRF attack using DAM vulnerable web application. After that, we will talk about the second attack for today, which is command execution or command injection attacks, and demonstrate how it can take place using DAM vulnerable web application. Finally, we will move to the final attack for today, and discuss brute forcing attacks using DAM vulnerable web applications. Let's start. The first thing we will discuss today is the cross-site request forgery attack. This form of attack, alternatively referred to as CSRF or XSRF, enables an attacker to perform actions or requests within an application while a user is logged in. It is called cross-site or cross-origin because it utilizes distinct websites or elements to interfere, meaning it sends requests from an external source into the application. CSRF operates by dispatching an HTTP request whenever a user visits a website that contains malicious code. The code is embedded in such a way that it does not require any additional actions from the user. These surreptitious HTTP requests can access, modify, or delete sensitive data without the user's knowledge. While CSRF attacks primarily occur through web browsers, they can also be executed through any script-enabled file, including Word and XML documents. So, how a CSRF attack works? Well, CSRF works by an attacker gaining access to a victim's browser, typically through a malicious link that is sent through a malicious email or so. That access is used after that to make a malicious request to any application with an active session in which the user is authenticated. Because the attacker has access to the browser, applications' requests are seen as legitimate because they are sent along with the session cookie that allows the request to occur, and nothing won't be detected on the server because the request is legitimate. For a CSRF to have an effect, several conditions must be present. First, there must be an action that the attacker wants to execute on behalf of the victim that will provide the attacker with some benefit, like gaining access to and change a victim's password, steal banking information, and so on. It's also a must that the application use session cookies to authenticate the request made by the user. Now, let's move to the ways of CSRF. A cross-site request forgery is executed in one of the ways described below. The first way, using a GET requests. As we know, some applications use HTTP GET requests to perform state changes, such as changing a password. In such cases, an attacker will send a malicious link that looks exactly like the original link. A script that triggers the browser to perform the request is executed when a user visits the link. Also, the attack may be executed by sending victims to a page that loads the address through an HTML element, such as an image that is malicious for sure. In either instance, the browser's GET request will be executed in the background to achieve the desired result without indicating to the user that this has occurred, and therefore, the attack won't be detected. Thus, CSRF GET request exploits are relatively trivial but still appear as vulnerabilities in different applications. The second way a CSRF attack can take place is by using a POST request. The primary distinction between utilizing a GET and a POST request for a CSRF lies in how the request is sent. Cyber attackers prefer using HTTP POST because it is commonly used for state-changing requests in applications. In contrast, to GET requests, where the attack is accomplished through a URL that contains the request, with a POST request, the victim's browser sends the desired values through the request body. These values are typically encoded in the form of a query string. To submit this request, an attacker may utilize the form element, which requires the user to manually submit the request. The attacker achieves this by tricking the victim into clicking a button on a malicious website they are directed to. Another approach is for the attacker to embed JavaScript on the website, which automatically executes the form request. Additionally, the attacker can employ an iframe embedded as a hidden field to achieve the same outcome. Similar to JavaScript, the iframe can be created to send the request as soon as it loads on the website. Now, it's time for the practical part of this tutorial. Let's discuss a CSRF attack example by using DAM Vulnerable Web Application. You can learn how to install DAM Vulnerable Web Application by reviewing our previous videos. Now, turn on DVWA and then select CSRF from the left navigation menu as shown in the below figure. You can set the new password to ABC123, then, click on the change button as shown in the corresponding figure. You can view the password change results. Below the change button, you will notice the message that says password changed. What I really want you to notice is the URL string. See how the URL string has the below two parameters separated by and password underscore new equals ABC123 password underscore CONF equals ABC123. This is DVWA's example of bad implementation of how to change a password on a web application for the following reasons. HTTP is being used instead of HTTPS, which means this password change was in clear text. An attacker could manipulate the URL string using the address bar or curl to change the password. Continue to the next step. In the URL, after password underscore new equals, replace ABC123 with test123. In the URL, after password underscore CONF equals, replace ABC123 with test123. Click the reload current page arrow. Notice the password is changed. Next, in the left navigation menu, click log out as shown in the figure. Now, log on again using the username as admin and the password as test123. Now, let's move to the second command for today, the command execution attack. Command execution is where a website application provides the ability to execute system commands. The purpose of the command injection attack is to inject and execute commands specified by the attacker in the vulnerable application. In situations like this, the application, which executes unwanted system commands, is like a pseudo-system shell, and the attacker may use it as an authorized system user. Command injection attacks are possible in most cases because of a lack of correct input data validation, which can be manipulated by the attacker like forms, cookies, HTTP headers, etc. Command injection harvesting is where a malicious user manipulates a website command execution application to render sensitive data, for example, usernames, config files, directories, file listings, etc. Let's move to the practical part of this tutorial. Click on Command Execution on the DVWA homepage. We will test to execute the ping command. As shown in the figure, we are going to do a simple ping test using the web interface. As an example, ping something on your network. We can use the shown IP address and then, click Submit. Finally, we will discuss brute force attacks using DVWA. As shown in the figure, brute force technique is basically trying a set of username-password combinations. You can say it's guesswork, but let the machines do the guessing and we will use the power of the machine to crack through the logins. We will try to brute force DVWA login using Burp Suite as shown below. Click on Brute Force tab in the left pane, and forward any intercept request in Burp. In the username password box type any combination like username1 password is password1 and click Login. In Burp Suite, now click on Actions and forward to Intruder, which will forward this request to Intruder in Burp Suite. Again in the Proxy tab, you can forward this intercept to receive the response that your username password was wrong. So finally, we are on the page where we bombard/hit with all the password combinations. Things we need to know beforehand. But how do we know if the login username and password combination is correct? Or how do we know if the username password combination is wrong? We decided with some responses like login successfully, welcome to the admin area as shown in the figure below. And now, we have discussed all our topics for today. I wish you have got a good understanding of today's tutorial. Looking forward to hearing from you if you have any comments.